Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be talking about how to save money for race car parts. I love that. I love how that sounds, right? And I would say this until I die. I love buying race car parts. I truly do. I love going fast. I love building race cars. I love building motorcycles. But today we're going to talk about how to save money for race car parts, right? And so I'm going to just throw this out there because just like as a little disclaimer, like the reason why I'm going to say this is because we all have different lifestyles, right? And we all have different ways of making money. So for some, you're going to be able to save more money than others do. But the principles applied here, the ones that we're going to cover today, are all the same no matter how much you make. So don't worry about that, right? So let's get into it. Like the reality is that speed costs money. And typically, if you have a lot of money, it's very easy to create a lot of speed for yourself. But the real question here is that you got to ask yourself, how fast do I really want to go? Like, and right off the bat, you might just be like, oh yeah, I want to go as fast as possible. And I've had those experiences too. But then what happens is that when you create these unrealistic goals for yourself, your car just sit on jack stands and will fucking never get done because it truly takes a lot of fucking money to make that happen. And so ask yourself that uncomfortable question. How fast do I really want to go? And how much money do I really want to spend? And I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways, right? Having a strong passion for racing, it possesses strong financial challenges. It really does. And for most of us who are just doing this as a hobby versus like a guy who's like a professional race car driver or does it for the professional career, to all outsiders, the choices we make will never seem like viable financial options. But but the decisions we are here to make, know that they're all for self-preservation of our need for speed. They truly are, man. Like, and I feel that way. We're literally, they're all investments in our happiness and our well-being. And I always say that. They're like, oh, you'll never get that money back. Oh, you've been spending all this money on your race car and it's not. Oh, I'm not spending it. I'm investing it into my happiness and into my well-being because that's truly what I'm passionate about. I love going fast. Like my gearhead. And so to me, it's not spending it. To me, it's investing, man. And so anybody who tells you that you're crazy for spending that kind of money on the things that we do, they're like on our race cars, they aren't about that life. And I'll just simply tell them, hey, that's okay. This is not for everyone. Thank you for your opinion. I'm going to keep doing me. Because the reality is that this sport requires you to have 2 nuts and a couple loose screws up in here in your head. It truly does. Because this sport can get very dangerous, very fast. But at the edge of danger lies our sense of awakening. It truly does, man. And going fast, like really, really, really fucking fast, is just what we do. So, what are some practical tips and some techniques that you can use to save money, specifically for race car parts, right? Let's start on that. Well, we're gonna dive into that, right? And we're gonna dive into that real soon. But I want to say something else, right? Like, we're gonna need lots of money for lots of parts. Like, unless you're already buying something that's already fully built, and mile power to you. I made a couple episodes back of something like, oh, built not bought. Like, I truly love the process of building it, making it your own. And so if you want to buy something that is already built, more cheers to you, But we're here talking about how to get lots of money to buy lots of parts, right? And so, depending on how your skills are, like mechanical skills, and depending how much you're willing to learn and to invest in yourself, you're going to need either a lot of money for labor or you're going to need a little money for labor. Like in my case, I try to do almost everything myself. I'm a big advocate of YouTube University, of reading books, of learning, of just tackling, asking people who have done it, just fucking doing it myself. Um, and so I've been able to save a lot of money on labor. I've also messed up a lot of things because the learning process goes with it. But if you're someone who's not like me and doesn't want to go through it yourself, then more power to you. You're just gonna need to establish a way larger budget for your labor, right? And so we're gonna need money for labor. We're gonna need money for maintenance. We're gonna need money for the track to pay the track entrance fees, and then we're gonna need a lot of money for transportation fees because we're gonna be going back and forth to tracks. We're gonna be going to events. We're gonna be going out of town, and that shit gets expensive real quick. And so know that balancing our passions for racing, it comes with an essential need for financial caution. Like it really does. Like I'm here to tell you, yes, I'm investing into my well-being, and we're going to go fast. We're going to get lots of money for lots of race car parts. But at the end of the day, you got to use financial caution, right? Because the love of speed is fucking real. It really is. But not letting go of your financial responsibilities is just as important. It really is. And so first and foremost, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be able to create a budget for yourself. This is going to be like step number one. And even if it's not for race car parts, I think this is just something that you should be doing in your life in general. You should always know, like, you should always have a budget for yourself, right? Like, you should know how much money you're coming in. You're going to know how much money you're coming out. You're going to want to know itemized, like, how much you spend in mortgage and light and food and groceries and gas and going out. Like, you should have a budget line item for everything. And that's aside from race car parts. I think that's something that we should all have, because when you're able to track things, you're able to improve things, right? And so as you create this budget, you're going to want to have, like, you're going to want to list, actually, you're going to want to list all the avenues of income that you have on a monthly basis, right? And you're also going to want to list all the expenses. And typically, and the goal is to get your income, like, way more income avenues than you have way more expenses avenues. But, most of us, we have a few income avenues and a lot of expenses avenues. So it's just how it ends up working out. But the goal long term really is to have a lot of income avenues and little expensive avenues, so you can just keep stacking the cash, right? But you're going to want to list all the money that you have coming in from different places. So you have a total every month of how much money you have. And then you start itemizing all your expenses, right? And so I'm talking about going deep into the nitty gritty. Like, tracking things down to the penny is super important here, right? And you want to know, like, everything you spend. Like, and once you know how much money you're spending and how much money you have left over after all your expenses, and I'm talking about going in detail into your expenses. If you buy a coffee on the regular, list that. If you buy, I don't know, like flowers for your wife, list that. Like, every single expense, list that there, because you want to grab a total picture of every single dollar that you're spending every month, so that you can see how much is left over, right? So this number, what that ends up being is it becomes your disposable income. And so next, let's prioritize our spending habits. Like, it's important for you to distinguish between essential expenses and optional spending. It truly is, right? And so you want to focus on cutting down all the non-essential costs. Like, once you have it all itemized and once you have it all listed, see what can I cut and what can I and where can I cut? Because you're gonna start seeing that when you list every single thing that you spend money on, you're like, holy fucking shit! Can't believe all this money is being spent. No wonder I have so little left over, right? And so, no matter how small, it really is just essential to this everything. And then once you determine what is not essential, then let's cut it. Because all the little expenses, they add up fast at the end of the month. They truly do. You'll be surprised. Like, let's say you buy a Starbucks coffee every day, or let's say you buy an energy drink every day. Multiply that times 30 days, and you're going to add up very fucking fast. You're going to see that. You're going to be like, holy shit, I can't believe I spent that. A month on that. And then multiply it by 12, and you're like, holy shit, I spent that a year on that line item? Fuck. And so next year is you're going to set up a monthly savings goal. And so you want to be able to define a clear, a realistic amount to just save each month, specifically for race car parts. You should be also saving for other areas of your life, vacations, investments, other areas. But today we're going to talk about specifically for race car parts, right? So determine what I can realistically save every month after you know your expenses, after you know your disposable income, right? And so once you determine what you're going to save every month, this amount really becomes your non-negotiable for you to hit every single month. And so you got 12 opportunities to hit that, right? We're talking about months here in a year. And so know that every time that you come in under that goal, you're prolonging the build. But every time that you're coming over that goal that you set as a non-negotiable, it shortens the time needed to enjoy your build, to finish it, to go out and fucking rip it. So let's go all in with this shit, right? Something that you can use also is you can use the power of automation in your favor. Like what that means is just set up automatic transfers to a dedicated savings account every single time you get paid, so that you can't make up an excuse of why you can't take that set amount aside every time you get paid. Because when you get paid, you're like, oh no, I got this and I got this, and life always throws curveballs at you. But if you have it already been taken out automatically and moved into a separate account, you're not going to see it, right? And so when buying, like another tip that you can use is that when you're buying parts, you're buying race car parts, you want to be able to use smart shopping strategies, right? And what that means is just like, it's like, buying new parts has its benefits. It really is. And I'm big on buying new parts. I like shiny new things. But there is nothing wrong with buying something that's used or that's refurbished, because it brings a lot of cost savings into the equation. And it can really make a fucking difference. Sometimes you can get these used and refurbished parts for half the cost. And so that's going to save you a lot of money, right? But the key here is to find quality used parts, right? Because if it's cheap, it doesn't mean that it's going to last. Typically, cheap parts don't last. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to fucking buy it twice. So in the long run, if the quality is not there, you're going to pay double the price in the long run, right? So you want to be able to look in places like forums, race car groups, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist, and even OfferUp for all these parts, and see where you can get the best deals. Also, you could be able to use seasonal sales, right? Or discounts is another great idea to use here. Like you want to be able to time your purchases of what you need to buy, especially like the big fucking purchases. You want to time these around like deals like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or maybe an end of the season clearance. And this is going to help you save a lot of money, especially on these big ticket items, because they have good discounts on that, right? Another thing that you could do is that you can also look for groups for group buys. They have this, and what that means is that you find a couple friends that want to buy the same part, and they'll give you a deal. They'll give you a discount. We can also do a bulk buy. It works the other way around, but it's the same thing. You're getting lots of parts buying at one shot, and so the distributor typically will give you a big discount because he's selling lots of them, right? And so you can leverage groups, you can leverage group buys with friends or online communities who are also looking to build race cars, or are also looking to buy race car parts, so that you can get the discounts when buying those things together. And don't forget to do your best when negotiating used parts. And I say this, and I stopped on that one. I was like, bro, I'm not the best negotiator for parts. I'm usually not. If I see something and I want it and I need it, I'm like, bro, whatever it is, like let's get it. I need that, And so you want to be able to negotiate, and because typically most people are willing to accept a lower dollar than their asking price. It really is true, right? And unless you're competing against someone else who's going to buy that, then you might have to pay full price. But typically, people will take a lower dollar than they're asking, right? And also, when you're speaking to vendors, like, it never hurts to ask them if they could honor a price match that you saw somewhere else, right? They will do this, and then it's a long shot sometimes, but sometimes it does work in your favor. When building a race car, you want to be able to think outside the box, because things are so expensive sometimes. So you want to be able to think outside the box. It will help you make progress on your build, right? And it's easy to get wrapped up in the man, I just don't have any more money type of mindset. Like with all the stress that total number comes to, it's very easy to get into that mindset. And I guess I should say that for you to have the total amount that you need to hit, you're going to have to have itemized your build. And I've covered this in another episode, but you want to itemize your build and everything that you're going to need so that you know what's the total cost of what you have going in. And then you compare that to your, to your financial budget and how much money you need to save. And then you divide that by the total cost. You know how long you're going to have to save for, right? And so when I'm talking about thinking outside the box here, right? This is like generating extra income for racing really becomes like a power adder to your build, because typically we all have like a set amount that we're making. And so when you can generate extra income from wherever, it really does become a power adder. And so think about anything and everything that you can do on the side to monetize your skills. Like what can you do on the side? Can you wash cars on the side? Like maybe you can do some type of mechanic work on the side. I don't know, maybe you can do like some photography, maybe you can do some writing. Like I don't know, there's just so many different skills out there that different people have that give you the ability to earn extra money, that the possibilities just really become endless. And if you can't think of any personal skills, like think about taking a part-time job so you can generate some extra cash for yourself. And at the end of the day, it's all about how bad do you want to build this, right? It really is, because a lot of people are like, oh, a part-time job, I don't know, man, this and that. But know that a part-time, it doesn't have to be permanent. Like it's just to help you get over the parts buying phase of the build, right? To generate all this cash that you need to get all the fucking parts so you can get to work. And so you gotta do what you gotta do, man. If you really want to make this happen, then do whatever you gotta do, right? You can also sell any parts or items that you have laying around in the garage, or even around your house or around friend's house. Like you're going, hey, do you need this? Do you want it? No, let me get that, right? And you start selling anything and everything that you have, right? Like what old parts or what old items that you have laying around that you no longer need. I know they're there. It's okay. I have them too. Like I know how that goes. Saving them for if ever that time comes around, that I'm gonna need that part. But will you ever need it? Like most of the time, I have all these parts there, fucking on the shelf that I'll never probably get to, and I could sell them all if generate some cash. Let's get this race car going. Like so, list all those parts for sale, man. And this one's good to mention too. Like if there are any possible short-term investments that you can make to generate cash flow for yourself, go all in with that shit, bro. Like remember, think outside the box. We're after generating money for race car parts, and we're gonna need lots of it, lots of money to buy lots of race car parts. So something else that I wanted to talk about there is something that I personally haven't done this, but I have friends who have done it and it works. I have a lot of close friends who have done it actually, and it really works well for them. And they take on sponsorships. Like especially if you have a large social media like presence, a lot of social media following, this can work big time in your favor, because these sponsors are going to want to work with you so that their products are exposed to lots of people. And so leverage your connections for discounts or even to get free deals from these sponsors, right? Though most of the time they'll give you a discount, but I've heard lots of times that they'll actually give you the parts for free if you work out a good deal, right? And so know that any opportunity that provides cost savings is a real opportunity, my friend. So don't count any valuable options out. Above all, remember the importance of budgeting. Like every dollar counts. Remember the importance of smart shopping. There's going to be lots of parts to buy. Remember the importance of generating extra income, because going fast isn't cheap. And remember the importance of having good connections, because chances are someone out there has already done it too. It's not about having the best car. It's all about having the most. It's all about making, I'm going to repeat that again because I fucking screwed that up. It's not about having the best car. It's all about making the most out of the car that you do have, my friends. So let's get to work. Let's go make these race cars happen. Let's make race cars great again. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, calling out the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the crap that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. Join me on this journey where we empower our people to do more and to be more. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button so that you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, please share this on your story and tag me, Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that get more gearheads to see and hear about this podcast. And those are the actions that really help us grow our community. I'll catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.